Hey,
Hey, sis.
How y'all doing?
Hello.
If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. Glad you found us. I'm
Welcome.
Kamila, aka Little Sis.
And I'm Jamila, aka Big Sis, and we are
the sisters.
So
we are blooming this month.
Wait, time's out. Before we go, you can find us on all podcast streaming platforms at Hey Sisters with the U. Same spelling on Instagram and Facebook. And if you cop any of our 18 karat gold jewelry, you can find us at Shop Hey Sisters. Please send the pictures because we love to repost our customers.
So we do. Please,
we love y'all.
You send us pics if
you purchase. Send us pics if you purchase. Okay.
Yes.
With that being said, go ahead, sis.
That being said, if you are tuned in to our IG and what we do monthly, for the most part, we curate themes, and May was just the perfect time for us to bloom and blossom into womanhood and talk about all things blooming that we experience and go through, and try to lend some gems, words of wisdom, and encouragement to all of my beautiful black queens out there, because this shit ain't easy, but it's worth it.
Right.
So today we're talking about new body. Who
this? So we know we're living in the height of, if you don't like your body, buy a new one. Right.
Do what makes you feel right, girl.
Right. Do it. Just do it. It's for you. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise, right?
Buy it.
So we've seen almost like a decade-long run of the new, what I call the Barbie silhouette, because if you look at how Barbie, the ratio, and just like how the hips are not really smooth.
Because for
the
long time, it was like, you're trying to get a butt because you're trying to emulate black women.
Right.
And then it morphed into, like this Kim Kardashian like silhouette. So it's like not even like necessarily like black woman anymore. And then it like kept going into like, we realized, we looked at like, Barbies that we grew up on.
Right.
And even the ones now, like some of the ones I bought my daughter, just like built the silhouette is like, wow. Authentic. So when Nikki was like Barbie, she was really
calling what's going on, because it's like sis was saying, like at first it was like you were trying to get a butt to be black, but then it was just kind of like, now black women are getting them, so it's a butt to just look like the silhouette, and then come to find out the silhouette is Barbie, because no bodies are birthed naturally to look the way we've completely have gone, right? So we kind of want to talk about some of the things we've realized about our own bodies and where we were as far as surgeries and BBLs are concerned, because we're gonna be a little transparent
just a little,
and really kind of address like what we've noticed after the phase or trend, like celebrities are speaking out about it.
Yeah, so it's interesting now to see, like we said, it was praise, you, and now roughly, we'll just say 10 years, because shit changes like damn near every 10 years, a little bit faster now.
Right.
But now it's like, oh, something might be wrong with you mentally if you're willing to put yourself through such a dangerous surgery more than once, a lot of times.
Right.
And now people are starting to talk out against it. Like even Lil Bootsy just recently made a post. Like, we had no idea this was going on. But like, we're tapped in, but we go on the internet, and I'm like, Little Bootsy
making sense
now. We're in trouble. We in trouble. He's like, ladies, don't get surgery. Love yourself, fellas. Tell your girl, like,
pump her up naturally,
so she don't think like, oh, maybe the bigger, what K Michelle, the bigger the butt, she thought the bigger the love she was going to receive.
Right.
And I remember you had a boyfriend, and I remember when we were talking about getting our boobs done, and like you asked him in front of me, you was like, you said something about your boobs, like, do you like them or something? And he was like, oh, it could be a cup bigger.
Right. Well,
and I was like,
I didn't know he was being that transparent.
Yeah. And I was like,
how insulting.
I was so offended for you.
Oh, yeah.
He was like,
well, I didn't pick them well, just to be honest. But basically, I picked people that reinforce my insecurity, and that was in the space that I was in within myself. Right. But one thing I want to clear up before we go too far, as far as like it be a mental illness. We're not saying you have mental illness if you change your body. Right? That's not what we're saying. We're saying that there's going to come a time when the silhouettes become obvious. right? You got your body
they're
done.
obvious now.
But they're obvious now. And then you get so many people speaking out about it and really being honest that they didn't love themselves. If you listen to K. Michelle, that's what she's talking about. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at where some of these women come from, it's kind of obvious that you have those gaps of self-love.
And self-worth.
You know, and self-worth. And then when you look at how much pain and trauma your body has to go through, watching the BBL on YouTube. Or Dr. I said, no, I'm not gonna do it, right? Yeah. But I think there's gonna come a time where we look at the mental or the psychological effects that this trend has on us, and then it'll be like, oh, you didn't love yourself. Right. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to being like, I love myself, I'm gonna do this for myself. Like there's some things we can do to accentuate our natural beauty. Right. But when it comes to the trauma and the possible downfall being bigger than the rewards, right? Then we need to think about, is this worth it?
Is it worth it?
Because that's the mind frame we went through when we wanted
boobs. We were really like we were playing down. We were filing pages. We were looking up doctors. We planned on taking care of each other. Like we were going to get boobs.
We were going to get boobs. I was going to buy my boobs. You know what I'm saying? And I convinced myself.
I tried to convince myself, but something kept telling me like, don't do it.
Right.
No. And I was just like, well, you know, like I wanted boobs because I didn't accept my body the way it was, and my boobs were the way they were because I breastfed both my children for 2 years straight, right? And I had them like they're 3 years apart, but like, you know, like breastfeeding, there's not that much time, so right, that, you know, so I had to be like, well, my breasts did their job, like my kids' immune system is immaculate, like they never get sick, right? Like to the point like if they do, I don't even know what to do, right?
We just give them oranges and pray, and
then
works.
They're sick for like 2 days, and then they're fine. So like, and then, you know, my mom was even like, oh, you know, you need to get new boobs. Like,
right, our mom's that's a whole nother story.
She said they look pitiful.
They look pitiful.
She said,
right.
You know, mommy makeover. You too young, too beautiful. That, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's right. But before, it didn't cross my mind. But like, if I didn't get to the point of self-acceptance,
if you didn't do the work,
if I didn't do the work of being confident and loving myself and filling my head with a different narrative, because I could easily talk myself into getting it. So I decided to talk myself into loving what I have. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm older, they change. Like my breasts have changed and they look closer to what I want them to look like now. Like they're fuller, like, you know, they could be perkier, but like I'm completely okay with them. Like, I'm completely,
and it hasn't slowed you down at all. But like my story, but I had breastfeeding breasts, and I ain't never breastfed, so I felt justified. Like I was given a short deal, of the stick. Like I didn't have any kids. I didn't have any reason for my
kids look just like mine,
right. And I don't know, I didn't understand why, and I felt like, you know, that's not fair. Like, even when I put them in a bra and try to lift them up, it was a dip, it was just, it wasn't right. But I'm going to let y'all in on something, which I don't know if we said it before, if we released the podcast, or if we said it in a previous episode, but I really want to run this in the ground. Right. I manifested a new body. This may sound weird, but the body that I have right now is a combination of good genes, because my mom and dad are athletically built. Right. You understand? My mom is like, her stomach ain't never really moved too far over her belt, you know? And like she taught us to always walk and hold our stomach in. So now in my later years, it's second nature, and I'm reaping the benefits from it. You know what I'm saying? But like also, like I visualized how I wanted my body to look. When I would work out, I didn't just rely on working out. I really put power into if I can create my reality. And I read a book about it before, and the guy was like, he saw better results in his body when he visualized.
He was working out. He was working out, trying to get the body that he wanted. But like you were saying, visualizing it.
I saw the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saw the difference too.
I saw the difference, and then she confirmed it, and I was like, okay, this is real.
Totally
I'm not about to come out right now and show you a nip.
I wish I was there.
I'm not gonna purposely
tell you.
I don't have any before and after.
New boobs.
I have more after now.
She has new breasts, and I just be looking like, how? I'll be like, I'm telling you.
Manifest the body. Because they're like, and the reason why that's crazy to me, because like I didn't do push-ups. I didn't do like
all
chest.
the things.
I didn't do none of that. I didn't take and so that's just wild to me. You know what I'm saying? Because like with the lower half of my body, I'm already hip heavy.
Now.
Right, but there was right. Like I'm on the second half of puberty. Like I'm closer to the 40. So like my body is looking like a grown woman. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right. And I've seen women clearly younger than me do the butt workouts and all of that and just take years and focus on changing their body, which I completely understand. I bought the program too.
Right.
But I had a moment of truth. Right. Am I really gonna do this for an hour, 4 days a week? You know, and that's the proof. How bad do you want it? I didn't want it that bad.
Right.
And and it brought me to a place to be like, I'm okay.
But how many of us ignore that? Mm-hmm. And just go be an autopilot in this narrative of like, I gotta look the part.
Right.
Like, no, you don't. What you need to do is let your body blossom and bloom and like 40 is
Take
it.
care of your body.
Honestly, 40 is it. Like, I'm looking forward to 40 because I can't wait to just
even Tamika Mallory was like,
this must be that 41, honey, because I didn't have this ass until this 41.
Let your ass come, ladies. I don't know where it was on Instagram, but even the dude was like Candy Beerus. Her body during Escape and her body now, and for it to be a real ass. Let your body come, ladies.
Let your body blossom and bloom and come into itself, and let yourself come into itself, and don't give into succumb to the trends and this dangerous. Because
that's a permanent decision, right? And if it doesn't go right, you're gonna spend time.
You're gonna spend more time
and money.
And more surgeries. I think K. Michelle's like on her like some wild number. It's like between 8 and 12. But that is so dangerous. Like it's not worth it. And like the more and more it's coming out that it's not worth it. I mean, the happier that I am because like people are really like, where's like I'm here for the real bodies. Like
the 90s body. No, not even just the 90s bodies because that was like a really slim silhouette. You know? Even like even what was that? Clueless. There was like her butt. Like that was like a shunning of us.
Right. That was a shunning of us.
You know.
Right?
So
it was a big butt. Like,
but I think nice butts was always popular amongst our men. Like it was like either you have it or you don't. I'm gonna love you regardless.
Right.
I'm gonna look when the big butt pass. So don't be mad. You know what I'm saying? But like there was definitely still a trending beauty in the 90s. You have Aaliyah, Halle Berry, Toni Braxton, Naomi Campbell. Like. Don't let the trim tell you who you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you do all of these things, you do gain a sense of false confidence. And you might rely on your external beauty to get you into places where you may not feel like you've gotten before. Right. But what you can do with your energy and the way alignment and purpose-filled and divine opportunities will come to you without having to sacrifice going under the knife.
And authenticity, but I have to sacrifice anything.
Right. Like, it's way more worth it. And don't let this world work you out of your purpose. Don't become so insecure in what you can do for yourself and your body. Self-sabotage. Like you don't believe in the power of what I manifested new boobs, y'all. I ain't lying. Now they ain't, you know. When I was gonna get a boob job, I wanted Kelly boobs.
Right. We wanted the Kelly Rowland. Like we didn't want to do too much. Like we still was gonna keep it under the radar.
Right.
But
I have no complaints. When I can wear a push-up bra and be good, I can wear no bra
and be good.
And I'm
like, I wear no bra anyway,
right?
And I'm not necessarily good, but
but that's the type of like right now you can't see her boobs, but you can see she's a beautiful, radiant woman.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And like that's what you want. You want that beauty to emanate from within,
right?
And you want the externals. When you get a me and when you get a my sis. You get in inside and outside beauty.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You get in things that when we 80, we don't have to worry about hard rock
boobs,
surgery,
and butts up your back because
we don't even know
what's in them. We don't even know what the long-term repercussions are going to be. Honestly, we have no idea what they're injecting into your ass.
Right.
So don't do it.
Don't do it, sis.
Just love yourself, sis. Like, I promise
For
you.
real.
Like, it might be hard. I'm sure it is. But I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's way more worth it than going under the knife.
Absolutely.
It's way safer to fuck with yourself.
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
It's secure the bag in other places.
Yes.
You know, just because the surgeon take Dogecoin don't mean... I'm just
God.
I'm just playing. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's the message.
Yeah.
Love yourself and manifest the body you want, because you'll be inspired to do the right things. I'm inspired to run as often as I should, not as often as I think I need to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my body's like rest. And I'm still thick as fuck.
For real.
All right, so that was New Body Who This. And we'll be back, but thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tapped in for more content.
Yes.
Interact with us on our IG. We'll
Yes.
be having some new stuff.
Some
for you
dope
guys.
content and some new merch on the way.
Yes. So
So
stay
tapped
tapped
in.
All right. Bye, sis.
Bye.